example 28 on page 562, divide and simplify to the form a plus bi. So we try to obtain the complex value as an answer here. So we're given a quotient of -5 plus 9i divided by 1 minus 2i. So basically, a complex number divided by a complex number solution. When dividing a complex number, we multiply by 1, and this 1 is in terms of the conjugates of the denominator. So let me show you this just to illustrate my point. So we're given -5 plus 9i divided by 1 minus 2i. So denominator, the complex number, the denominator is 1 minus 2i, right? Its conjugates has conjugates. Let's see, conjugates is what? 1 plus 2i. Right? Because denominator 1 minus 2i has conjugates 1 plus 2i. 1 minus 2i is in this form a minus bi, where the term bi is negative, and we have negative right here. So the conjugates is a plus bi. That's why we have 1 plus 2i. Now, we're going to multiply by 1, and this 1 is in terms of the conjugates of the denominator, which is 1 plus 2i. So, I'm going to multiply by 1, and this 1 is made up of conjugates of the denominator, so 1 plus 2i. As you see, 1 plus 2i divided by 1 plus 2i is 1, so I multiply by 1, and this 1 is in terms of the conjugates of the denominator. Okay? Let me take this out. And then simplify, we have. Now multiply numerator with numerator. We have -5 plus 9i times 1 plus 2i. This we multiply with 1 minus 2i times 1 plus 2i. Okay? And you notice the reason we want to multiply the conjugates of the denominator, because once you have this, it means conjugates multiplied by its conjugates. That means the denominator will equal to a real number, because when you multiply a complex number by its conjugate, the result is a real number. So, for simplifying the denominator, I'm going to use the formula difference of squares, okay? Because we have a minus b times a plus b. I follow this pattern here, so you can simplify this to a squared minus b squared. So a squared is 1, so a squared minus b squared. What is b? b in this case 2i. Okay, using this formula to simplify the denominator. So for this, on top you can distribute, because as you see, these two factors, they are not conjugates of each other. So you cannot use this formula to simplify, because they are different, they're not conjugates. So you will use the FOIL methods. Okay? So -5 times 1 is -5. -5 times 2i is -10i. 9i times 1 is positive 9i. And 9i, positive 9i times positive 2i is positive 9 times 2 is 18, and then I squared. Okay? Let's verify. -5 times 1 is -5. -5 times 2i is -10i. 9i plus 1 is 9i. 9i plus 2i is 18i squared. Simplify by combining like terms. So on the left hand side we have negative 5 is the only constant, so leave as is. 10i and 9i, they are like terms. You can combine these two. So negative 10i plus 9i is negative I. And then this is 18a squared. Now I squared, you know what I squared is, which is equal to negative 1. So I will leave negative 1 here in place of I squared. Now don't replace this value, square root of negative 1 for I, because we want the answer that has I. We don't want anything that is not I. So when you see I, leave as is because of the given. Simplify, we have 1 squared is 1, minus 2 squared is 4, I squared is I squared. The denominator, now simplify to 1 minus 4i squared. Make space, take this out. Continue from here to here. I get, so simplify negative 5, negative I, positive 18 times negative 1 is negative 18, and then 1 minus 4. Now you know what I squared is, right? So I squared is equal to negative 1, so replace negative 1 for I squared, and simplify further. Negative 5 and negative 18, they are like terms, so you can combine them. So this becomes negative 5, negative 18 is negative 23, negative I here. And the denominator you can simplify to 1 minus negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. Okay? Simplify, we have negative 23i, negative 23 minus I divided by 5. Now we're not done yet, even though you cannot simplify the numerator and denominator. But remember that you're asked to write the answer in this form, a plus bi. So for this, I'm going to split and recall this formula that we learned. A plus b divided by c is equal to a divided by c plus b divided by c. You can split one fraction into two terms, or think about when you have two fractions with the same denominator, you can combine them as one term, and the c, the common denominator is still c, just adding the numerator. So for here, I'm going to split this fraction to negative 23 divided by 5, and then plus negative 23 divided by 5 plus negative I divided by 5. Remember, when you split one fraction, is addition, okay? Because addition of d2, you get this, or the sum of d2 fraction, you get this. Even though you have negative here, treat this as the sum of d2 terms. This negative is still here, but it's on top of the I. And then from here, we can simplify further so that we have this form. I'm going to switch the position of each. Actually, no, because they want I at the end, so this is already at the end. The last step you need to do is just simplify the side. Negative here, you can combine with this positive. Now think about positive times negative is negative I divided by 5. Okay? So you can leave the answer like this, but it's better that when you leave the answer where I is to the right. So I will say negative 23 divided by 5 subtracts 1 over 5 times I. Okay? Because we want to factor out the term 1 over 5 in front of I. That's why I'm rewriting this term right here to 1 over 5 factor to the front of this I here. So the answer is negative 23 divided by 5, subtract 1 divided by 5 times I. Answer for number 28, example 28.